So previously I made a video on the weirdest race cars, and I'll link to it. It's a banger. I don't know if you can really call a list video a banger, but anyways, here's a few more strange race cars that was created in order to get an edge over other race cars. So here comes yet another banger by your boy, Chris. First car on this list, and this company held a spot in the previous list too. And if I'm honest, I can almost make an entire video just on the weird cars this company made. This is the Chaparral 2H, or as some called it, the White Whale. Chaparral had made many cars that had tons of downforce, which is a good thing in racing, but unfortunately this downforce also creates drag. Now Chaparral wanted to counter this, and to counter this they created the 2H, which combated the problem in some extreme ways. In the original design, the driver would sit super low and he would see through a cut-out window. Obviously this design would cause a few problems like blind spots, and a lot of them. The actual race car looked a lot different, since the race driver said there's no way he would race a car that looked like that. The 2H had more problems than just visibility, like its super short and narrow wheelbase, which naturally makes for quite an unstable race car. Moving on to the next car. So let's say the next car wasn't designed to go around corners. It was made with one goal, and that's to beat the land speed record. This is the 1951 Ital Corsa Tarf 2. This record car was powered by a 1720cc supercharged Maserati engine that produced 290 horsepower. The Tarf 2 broke two records on the 20th of March 1951. It broke the record for the fastest flying kilometer at 290 km per hour and the fastest flying mile at 298 km per hour. So yes, this car does look silly, but it proved that the design worked and it achieved exactly what it was designed for. Up next, the Tommy Evo 4-engine dragster. If you don't know TV Tommy, he has made some weird race cars. But this is probably the one he is most famous for, his quad-engine dragster. Now you might ask why. Why 4 engines? Well, in 1957 the NHRA banned nitros in their races, which meant less power and slower cars, or at least for a while, till people found other ways of making stupid amounts of power. First, Stevie Tommy built a twin-engine dragster in 1960, which ran 8-second quarter miles, without any nitros. Then Tommy decided, if the people liked the 2 engines so much, let's go bigger. Let's make a car with 4 engines and 4-wheel drive. The car was unfortunately banned, and Tommy was also banned from racing. So the showboat, as it was called, was parked and later sold off. And unfortunately I couldn't even find any official times on this car. I searched, I couldn't get a proper quarter mile time of this 4-wheel drive 4-engine monster. But if anybody knows what the time is, let me know, I'm quite interested. Next on this list is a Cadillac. It's called the Le Monstre or something. It's a French word. I'm not the best at pronouncing other languages. I went on a website called How to Pronounce, and they pronounce it as Le Monstre. So that's what I'm going to call it. Hopefully it's close to right. Anyways, the Le Mans rules permitted companies to enter rebodied standard automobiles. So Cadillac took a stock Cadillac Series 61 and it made it dog ugly. But they made it ugly for a reason. You see, the Series 61 was a big heavy girl. So they streamlined her and lightened a stock Cadillac with hopes of making a more competitive car. Now, did this work? Well, the Monstre was 15 miles per hour faster than the full body Cadillac down the straight. So yes, it did work. And if you're wondering how we know it was faster than the full body, they entered the streamlined one and a stock Series 61. So both cars raced and they ended in 10th and 11th place. But the streamlined one actually spun out and it still beat the stock one. Okay, last car on this list, and also the oldest car on this list. This is the 1917 Golden Submarine. The idea behind the car was designing a fast and safe car. Barney Oldfield decided to build this car after a fatal crash involving one of his friends. You see, race cars back in those days were open cockpit, race cars with no roll cages and no safety harnesses. In other words, in the event of a rollover, chances were that the driver would lose his life. That's where the Golden Submarine came in. It was a streamlined, closed cockpit race car. The car also featured a full metal roll cage, which is already much safer than the other cars were. Was it still competitive because the other cars were obviously lighter? Well, yes, it was powered by a 4.7 litre inline-4 that produced 136 horsepower, and she only weighed around 800 kilograms, so she was still very light. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I hope it was informative. I hope there's something new you learned or just know about now that you didn't know before. I'll check you guys in the next one. Cheers,